campaign funds, will permit loose and extravagant work because a contractor has political influence, will permit a public servant to take public money without rendering an adequate return by conniving at inefficient service on the part of men who are protected by prominent party leaders. Various degrees of moral guilt are involved in the multitudinous actions of this kind. But, after all, directly or indirectly, every such case comes dangerously near the borderline of the commandment which, in forbidding theft, certainly by implication forbids the connivance at theft or the failure to punish it. One of the favorite schemes of reformers is to devise some method by which big corporations can be prevented from making heavy subscriptions to campaign funds, and thereby acquiring improper influence. But the best way to prevent them from making contributions for improper purposes is simply to elect as public servants, not professional denouncers of corporations, for such men are in practice usually their most servile tools, but men who say and mean that they will neither be for nor against corporations. That on the one hand they will not be frightened from doing them justice by popular clamor, and on the other hand led by any interest whatsoever into doing them more than justice. At the Antitrust Conference last summer, Mr. Bryan commented, with a sneer, on the fact that of course New York would not pass a law prohibiting contributions by corporations. He was right in thinking that New York, while it retains rational civic habits, will not pass ridiculous legislation which cannot be made effective, and which is merely intended to deceive during the campaign the voters least capable of thought. But there will not be the slightest need for such legislation if only the public spirit is sufficiently healthy, sufficiently removed alike from corruption and from demagogy, to see that each corporation receives its exact rights and nothing more. And this is exactly what is now being done in New York by men whom dishonest corporations dread 100 times more than they dread the demagogic agitators who are a terror merely to honest corporations. It is, of course, not enough that a public official should be honest. No amount of honesty will avail if he is not also brave and wise. The weakling and the coward cannot be saved by honesty alone. But without honesty, the brave and able man is merely a civic wild beast who should be hunted down by every lover of righteousness. No man who is corrupt, no man who condones corruption in others, can possibly do his duty by the community. When this truth is accepted as axiomatic in our politics, then, and not till then, shall we see such a moral uplifting of the people as will render, for instance, Tammany rule in New York, as Tammany rule now is, no more possible than it would be possible to revive the robber baronage of the Middle Ages. Great is the danger to our country from the failure among our public men to live up to the Eighth Commandment, from the callousness in the public which permits such shortcomings. Yet it is not exaggeration to say that the danger is quite as great from those who year in and year out violate the Ninth Commandment by bearing false witness against the honest man, and who thereby degrade him and elevate the dishonest man until they are both on the same level. The public is quite as much harmed in the one case as in the other, by the one set of wrongdoers as by the other. Liar is just as ugly a word as thief, because it implies the presence of just as ugly a sin in one case as in the other.